Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, anyone and everyone seeking refuge from the absolute deluge of shitty, terrible, depressing news from around the world that incessantly bombards us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Welcome to round 5 of the Swiss stage of Nili's Apartment Cup, where the Viper, in this particular game playing as the Georgians in yellow, and Hera, in this particular game playing as the Chinese in blue, are duking it out in a best-of-5 non-elimination set that should be pretty damn fun to watch. Now, if you're not familiar with Nili's Apartment Cup, it is a tournament of the best that I believe originally did take place in Nili's apartment. This year, I think it is being hosted by Gamer Legion, and by the way, take a look at the bottom right of your screen. Notice anything near Hera's name. He has now joined the Gamer Legion clan. Are they still called clans? Groups? Covens? I don't know what the hell they're called. I'm just going to call it a clan because that is what we called them back in the late 90s. For those of you who are in your 20s, first of all, F you. Second of all, clans existed in the 1990s, last century. But Hera has now joined the Viper in the same clan. This year's cup, I believe, taking place in Berlin, a city that is very near and dear to my heart. I did live there for about 3 months in 2005 in an artist colony in East Berlin. Now, those of you who know me are probably wondering, why the hell was Isaac living in an artist colony in East Berlin? Anyway, long story, but I absolutely loved my time in Berlin, even though, I don't know if I should say this, even though I was, let's put it lightly, detained by police at one point in a story that is not very pleasant to retell. So I won't. maybe later, maybe as the channel grows and people are curious, I can explain to you why I had a very fun interaction with the police in Berlin at 3 a.m. outside of a nightclub. In any event, that is neither here nor there. You did not come to hear my random walking down memory lane. Oh my god. Now my brain went there. Now, of course, I had to pause mid-game. Anyway, this is a best of 5. As I mentioned, we are in the Swiss stage, so non-elimination. I believe the players are vying for positions in the playoffs, although somebody with a bit more knowledge of how the Swiss system works, please chime in if that is a mistake. If you noticed in the beginning, the starting positions, let's put it like that, everyone starts with 9 villagers in this case, an area of exploration that is greater than the usual standard random map games. And in terms of speaking of random map games, you do start the game with as many resources as you normally would have at the 2-minute 30 mark of a normal random map game. Now, in this particular case, we're dealing with 2 civilizations that may have made it a little bit more difficult to know. I mean, the Chinese with their extra villagers do start the game with 200 less food, and the Georgians with their free mule cart do start the game with 50 less food. So it may have been a little bit confusing. It definitely was for me in the beginning to see why the hell Hera had negative 100 food and the Viper had negative the Viper had just 50 food in his bank account. But that is what it is. We'll see in the next games if we can catch it a little bit earlier. I'll pause the games and we can see exactly the starting positions. For now, though, one last thing that I should mention, laming is apparently allowed. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but there was a very fun lame this day. Although I shouldn't say this day, depending on when the hell you're watching this. Could have been yesterday, could have been the day before. In any event, there was a very fun situation of laming between freaking Andy and Mr. Yo, I believe. That was pretty fun to watch. But in any event, we've got ourselves a cavalry civilization in the Georgians against a question mark civilization in the Chinese. Pretty damn versatile civilization with a pretty cheap tech switch if needed in the later stages of the game, given their technology discounts of 15% in Imperial, 10% in Castle. But the Chinese do have a lot of good counters to cavalry. That being said, let's, fingers crossed, hope the Viper goes Manaspa play. In that case, let's hope he goes fully upgraded Manaspas in clumps bigger than 21, because then we'll get to see that big 22 attack, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that's like latest level attack, although unlike the latest, does not ignore armor. Let's take a look at the map where we are located. This is enclosed. You can always see at the bottom center of your screen where the players start in a Star Wars Rebel Alliance shaped map in the middle here with the wood. not really enclosed, I would say, kind of half enclosed. Both of them jack and lumber towards each other, both of them expanding towards the outer regions of the map where the resources are. A very resource-rich map. If you can take a look at the mini-map, lots and lots of clumps of berries, lots and lots of small clumps of stone, and it looks like the Viper is the one who is choosing to be aggressive in this case. Let's see what they've discovered of each other's bases as Hera's archers shoo away and get the first kill of the game at the 9-minute mark. 3 archers. 3 little archers from school are we, filled to the brim with spearman glee. Anyway, sorry, it's been a long day. I am losing my mind. You know, when you're dealing with an 8-month-old baby, sometimes your brain does turn to the same mush that they eat. But anyway, we know the Viper has seen Hera's base, hasn't really poked his head in here, doesn't really need to risk losing some HP on that scout. Hera, what we saw earlier, has done the exact same thing, although, look at Hera. A bit more of a risk taker, decides to penetrate the inner ooey gooey center of the Viper's base. As the Viper now has returned with 4 scouts, possibly 3 in a second if the Spearman decides to actually turn around and fight. No, he decides to turn around and die. Let's take a look at their HP. Did manage to poke off a bit of HP. So this is a pretty hale group of scout units, down only about 20% of their HP. And remember, the Georgians, they in Feudal do regenerate 5 HP per minute, these scouts. So if you take a look, 104, 105, 106. I'm looking at the bottom left of our screen in case you're wondering why I'm slowly reading numbers. 108. That jumps up all the way up to 15 HP per minute in Imperial. I mean, I'm talking a lot of game here about Imperial. I'm not too sure we're going to reach it. Not for any particular reason, just because if you've watched my videos before, if you're familiar with the channel, you know that if I say this scout is going to go right, he is definitely going to go left. And so if I say something about Imperial Age, you know this game's going to end in early Castle or late Feudal, as now both players are trying to push into each other's base. Hera has discovered, as we know, the berries, but this time there's a greeting committee here with a bunch of skirmishers, but without ballistics. Good luck to those skirmishers. Not that they need a lot of luck. 6 HP. Ooh, juicy target, juicy target. Does he see? He sees that the scout isn't moving. Maybe Hera's busy microing at home trying to save his villagers. 1 scout looks like dead for the Viper. Hera getting... Or maybe not. No, maybe not. He just sent him home, I think. I'm looking at Hera's kill count. It's just the one that spearman that we saw the archers gun down somewhere in this vicinity. No, he sent his scout back home thinking, okay, you know what? Good move by the Viper. I mean, a very, very interesting move. How many of us would have the patience to send this scout all the way around the southern horn of this forest to make it all the way here to gun this scout down instead of just using these skirmishers to chase him down? Now, those skirmishers probably would be better served. Ooh, not only does he not know these guys exist, he hasn't even explored this part of the map, the Viper, although with these skirmishers, with their good line of sight. Let's see if he goes north. Let's see if he goes south. Ooh, he's going north instead. So will not discover them right up until right now, when they poke their head out of the ether and then they run back into the darkness. But the skirmishers are chasing. The Vipers, laying a bit of a Hera sandwich here. Ooh, Hera's units might get stuck between these berries. A tiger joins in. Okay, Hera entering into the minimum range of the skirmishers. Basically the perfect way of playing this. 1 spearman goes left. Archers go on the high ground, but they need to be careful here. Spearman dies. Skirmisher dies. Tony the Tiger still active. Hera says, okay, in the middle of all of this, I'm going to micro my archers to kill this tiger because I don't want him closing in on my archers. But beautiful move there out of Hera to save the majority of his army right as he's clicking up to castle 50 seconds away. But uh-oh, Scooby-Doo Ruh-roh, in come the surviving scouts of the Viper. It looks like now he's only got these 2 left out of the original 4 bad boys, although there is a third one somewhere. Now, what's the game plan here? Is he trying? Okay, the game plan is to attack these archers so that they stop. They stop, they fire, and these skirmishers keep moving, and that way you can catch up. Otherwise, you're just not going to catch up to them. Ooh, an exotic parrot, a macaw. I don't know if you guys heard that. Just absolutely let loose in a crazy roar. And okay, the Viper gives up on his plan, realizing that he has a total of 38 HP on these units. And so against archers that attack on a 5 right now for Hera. So 3 damage a shot with the 2 pierce armor. Or maybe I'm wrong. Never mind. He heads back. I don't think the Viper saw the archers here. Oh, Feudal Age. without ballistics, you crazy, crazy age. Where is the Viper's third scout, by the way? It doesn't really matter. He is, or maybe he's here. Yeah, there he is. Oh, he's being chased. Oh, no, just no big deal. He's being chased away by 2 knights. Should be able to get home safe and sound. The question is for how long? The Viper's still 12 seconds away from hitting Castle Age. And what is he doing? I feel like with the Georgians and the Armenians, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I feel like walling off resource patches is much more difficult with a mule card, and players don't use the mule card as part of the wall off, even though it has armor and has 300 HP. I feel like just aesthetically, it's a bit difficult to consider this as part of the wall off, so it's just easier to wall around it. Whereas with a mining camp, for example, you know, you do this. You put a wall here, a wall here, a wall here, and then one down here, and Bob's your uncle. Unless Bob's not your uncle. Our Georgian is pumping out a few knights of his own, getting husbandry. Has Hera gotten husbandry? Yes, he has. So his knights are going to outrun the Vipers for a hot second. And now no longer. Sacrificing scouts to kill a knight. Look at how little damage they actually do, but eventually, given enough time, why did he retreat right there? Okay, went back with this one guy and killed him. But Hera is aggressing. Hera sees a cavalry play. He knows he's playing against the Georgians. Like I said, pretty much a cavalry civilization. If you could simplify any civilization into one sort of build branch of the military, whatever the hell you want to call it, meta, different words for the same thing, I guess you could call the Georgians a cavalry civilization. So in come the camels with their nice +9 attack bonus against cavalry. They should be able to do a good job killing these knights. The good news for the Viper, even though he doesn't have the stone needed for a castle, if/when he does ultimately get a castle up, and if we're lucky enough to see Manaspas, F you to the Tiger in particular, if we're lucky enough to see Manaspas, remember Nightline units also count for their +1 attack. So it's an extra 5 Manaspas or Nightline units. So right now, if there was a single Manaspa here, he would get a free +1 attack boost, given the fact that there's 6 knights out. What are you? You are a flanking knight seeking to explore, seeking to do damage. Hard to explore with a knight unless you're the Franks and your knight comes with that extra 2 line of sight. Talk the big game about these knights helping the Manaspas. It looks like they're about to die. Why did the camels retreat? Okay, they retreated to give the monk time to convert one of these knights, and convert he does. And all of a sudden, a massive swing in army supply here in this small space of map. As the Viper has to get the hell out of here, loses a monk of his own to this light cav scout. No, not to the scout, probably to this knight. Oh, I'm trying to click this guy. Also 0 kill. What the hell killed that monk? Somebody with quicker eyeballs, younger eyeballs, please let me know what killed that monk. What are you moving very, very slowly across the map? What a beautiful sight with these tropical birds, the monk, the relic. It's all very, very pretty. And again, if this is your first time watching this channel, if you're watching this video for the first time, yeah, I ramble on. I fanboy out a lot. I just love this game. I think it's just so aesthetically pretty. Pelican en route, stork en route rather, to deliver a baby to somebody who is about to get no sleep for the next 6 to 10 months. And in comes Hera yet again. Hera's doing an amazing job continually exploring his opponent's base. The Viper hasn't been on Hera's side of the map since that one scout got shooed away by the knight. The 2 knights, rather. Where is Hera? Hera's getting constant vision on his opponent. Hera's microing is just absolutely insane in the best way possible. He scouts, he sees the knights, he sees the extra town center, getting stoned, by the way, and so immediately gets the hell out of here, immediately gets bloodline, knowing that he's probably going to have to go more and more camels. And now he's going to explore even more. I mean, the Viper's just letting this happen. Okay, finally, he's moving out on his own. But again, Knights, not exactly the greatest scouting unit. Not only are they slower than light cavalry units, but again, their line of sight is just absolute shite. Ooh, another Viper trap attempted. Another Viper trap sprung ineffectively as Hera's quicker moving units get the hell out of here. Another scout. I mean, this is just brilliant out of Hera. He's pulling the Viper's Knights to the north, and then in the same time, he's sending yet another scout. Although he's not really going to discover any new information right now. Okay, takes a bit of damage. Fortified Church does have 1 relic, which means it does fire 1 arrow. And now we've got a bit of a high-speed cavalry chase here to the back of the Viper's base. At the same time, though, the Viper has poked in. Looked like he got a villager. I don't know if he destroyed the palisade or if the palisade was deleted by Hera. Viper's got to get the hell out of here. You cannot take on not one, but two counter units. And unfortunately for this knight, I don't think he's making it home. Let's follow along as Hera himself to the south goes home. I don't think this knight's going to make it home. Maybe he will. 36 HP, 23 HP. Next whack should take him down to 10 or 11. Ooh, come on, camels. Hut, hut, hut. Oh, he pivots to the wrong place. How did it go down to 12? I thought it would for sure. I thought it was 13 each time. Anyway, never mind. Ignore my mathematical inabilities. And look at that, Hera. Mission accomplished. Success. Just huffs it back home. Why the hell would he keep going on with these half-dead units? Both players mining in earnest, jacking in earnest. That sounded very dirty. Jack and lumber in earnest. Let's take a look. A good time for us as the players disengage from one another. 81 civilian population for the Georgians, 76 villagers for the Chinese, but the Chinese army double the size of his opponent. What does Hera, what does the Viper have? You got a couple of knights, couple of scouts, couple of monks, and there's that castle. Doesn't actually protect this gold, but it is close to the fortified church. I'm not too sure about the location of this. Not a lot of high ground on this map. As, oh no, the monks are going to get caught out. Hera, how does he do this? This is, what's the famous expression of success being opportunity meeting preparation, or luck meeting preparation meeting opportunity? Something like that. This Hera is the perfect embodiment. This is what, raid of exploration incursion number 5 or 6 into the Viper's base. And the first time he got map vision, the second, third time, not much more map vision, but the fourth and fifth time, he manages to catch 2 monks. And this is what you have to do. You have to keep poking and prodding. It looks like, though, the Viper returns the favor with a dead Chinese monk. 3 more manage to shoo these knights away. I mean, Hera's inclusion of light cavalry units means that he is a little bit less scared of the Viper's monks, whereas the Viper, having just plain knights, needs to be very careful of monks. But Hera, again, I'm really upset with myself that I forgot what that quote is. Again, it's something like success is when opportunity meets preparation, or luck, or something like that. I don't know. In any event, Hera is poking in constantly. And so is it a shock that he managed to get more damage done? Manaspas are out. Base armor is fantastic. They retreat, playing a little bit of hide and seek with this camel. Was he trying to hide the Manaspas? Is that what was going on there? But unfortunately, this third guy, the third stooge, Curly, decides to show himself. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I do apologize to anyone on a smaller screen for the little tiny soldiers you see on your screen. Hera exploring the northern reaches of the map says, you know what? I don't have time. I don't have the desire to constantly send scouts to every corner of the map. So why don't I put down a few outposts? Ark of the Covenant being lowered for the Viper in yet another fortified church. Now remember, with the Georgians, their fortified churches, they have an 8-tile radius. And anywhere within that 8-tile radius, these stone miners, the gold, the berries, all work 10% faster. So actually, you know what? I asked them why the Viper didn't place his castle here. This is actually probably one of the best locations I've ever seen for a fortified church. Gold to the right, stone to the north, berries to the left, and lots of room for farms. Hera yet again looking, poking, prodding, searching for them monks. We've got 4 relics to 1 in favor of our Chinese. Now he definitely sees the Manaspas, but he doesn't care. He is here with a castle of his own, a whole bunch of camels going up to 14, 13 crossbows. Hera's army count is double. Civilian, equal population, 117 villagers for the Georgian, 120 for our Chinese. And the Viper, again, he's scouting. He's trying, I'm assuming this is just to pick off a villager or 2 like he might do now. Might do now, he says, as the Viper ignores every single thing he said 3 times. Maybe I should stand in front of a mirror and do it like those Halloween Those Halloween rituals, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, and all of a sudden, a knight will kill a villager. But I mean, again, not to beat a dead horse, but scouting with knights, I don't know about that. Manaspa's also not exactly the greatest scouting units. And the Viper sees these outposts, which tell him his opponent is trying to find avenues of attack. And speaking of avenues of attack, the theater of war has shifted south. How many Manaspas are we working with here? 7 Manaspas. He's got forging, so they need to be at a +2 right now. There they are. But the crossbows are here. This is amazing. Hera is clumping his army, which is good and bad. The good news is it's ready to attack. The bad news is because it's clump, a knight dies. A few crossbows die as well. So he's got to reposition these guys a little bit better. And reposition them better he does with these camels and crossbows on patrol. Look at him trying to entice the Viper's army to charge blindly. We're getting architecture. We're getting hoardings. This castle is about to get roided up with some more HP. Trebs for both players are just shelling the ever-loving hell out of each other. Look at the HP on this Georgian castle, and it is... it's not done. Camels are moving forward. Okay. I don't think Hera's gonna win this battle. Oh, no, never mind. The crossbow's actually doing a lot more than I thought they would be doing. Are they... Oh, my bad. My bad. Sorry, your caster's a bit of an idiot. I didn't realize these were heavy camels, even though I did see the upgrade on the top right of our screen. I thought for sure this castle, the fortified church, did it have any villagers in it? Not too sure. In any event, the Viper's just taking a bunch of unnecessary damage right now. Mule cart, the donkey cart goes ee-haw, and then charges straight into the crossbows. No, okay. Oh my goodness, he must have right-clicked these villagers to repair the trebs. Okay, or maybe he's doing exactly this, where the mule cart is taking a whole bunch of damage from these crossbows. The Viper is in serious amounts of trouble. He is down 50 total population compared to his opponent, and Hera retreats. Not a bad move, despite an initial shock to yours truly. Why is he retreating? Because his 2 trebs are not really accomplishing much on this 7,000 Byzantine level HP castle. Lord of the Rings, Helm's Deep Castle. How many Manaspas? 15. Oh, he needs one more. He needs one more, and they're going to be elite in a second. Now he's got 16. There we go. Now the attack bonus is +5 as the end. Not the attack bonus. I guess the attack bonus is +3. But with iron casting, it adds another 2 for a +5. But now he runs away out of the, I believe it's 15 tile radius. Another fortified church. This is an amazing play out of our Georgian, by the way. He can push in, and then the villagers will run into here if they come under attack. If he exposes Hera's western forest. This basically is like a town center. The villagers go in and they add a bunch of arrows. 25 Manaspas. There you go. Anything above 21 gets you that big juicy kill, but the Viper is missing Blast Furnace. So these guys are stuck at a 20 attack compared to the 22 they could be. Oh, the lost potential. What are you? You are another donkey cart. The absolute lost potential of missing Blast Furnace, and it might be a little bit too late to get it. Blast Furnace does take almost 2 minutes to research, 1 minute 40 seconds. And I think he realizes that. So that's why he's getting Bracer. Okay, maybe for the castle, make it a little bit stronger, make it a little bit further reaching. But our Chinese, oh, he's champing at the bit, whatever the correct way. I think it's champing at the bit. He wants to move. What kind of army are we working with here? 23 arbalests, 21 camels, 5 light cav meat shield, and 5 trebuchets. The Viper is spending all of his 800 stone repairing this castle, but 5 trebs are just shelling it to kingdom come, and in comes the Chinese army. What are they going to discover? The Viper garrisons his Manaspas for a hot second. The camels synchronized attack here. What an absolute bloodbath. Players ripping into each other, but ultimately the Trebs are still here. The castle falls and the Viper's in a spot of trouble, even though he still has 21 Manaspas. Are they up here? Why are they up here? I get you want a Hera, but oh man, now is not the time to counterattack. Not when you're getting pushed into with 5 Trebs. Now is the time to send them down south and then north to sneaky attack the Trebs. He also gets Vipered. So Viper channeling his inner Hera, saying, you know what? I'm under attack. I'm being pressed into. So I'm just going to counterattack my opponent. And then getting Vipered himself with these gates. Bit of a standoff developing here as the Chinese army replenishes. Fresh recruits are en route. Trebs continue their bombardment. Castle still down HP. I don't know if having just the tip of the castle on the high ground gives it the that Georgian 40% less damage bonus. I wonder if that is the case. I don't know how much of a structure has to be on the elevation to get the elevation feature. Looks like the Viper has busted in through the northern gate, but he is then met with another series of wall offs. This time houses, and okay, now he's just wasting time with these Manaspas. Or maybe not. Our Chinese camels are retreating, fully upgraded. What are the Arbalest upgrades? Okay, armor upgrades not really relevant. There's nothing really to attack these guys. The camels move in. The Viper, despite 2 lost castles, a massive loss in a huge engagement, has somehow clawed his way back up to 180 population as he continues running around the back. Oh man, are these the lone survivors of that group? That is an atrocious loss. Those 12, those dozen could have been used here. Oh, but the Arbalests are a little bit exposed, or perhaps they are a trap. Stable goes down. Villagers, did you not get the memo? Run into the fortified church. Oh, there they go. So these camels are going to find naught but a ghost town. And this might be a good moment for the Viper to attack. 9 of these camels, 9 out of 39 camels, 30% of the camels are not on the battlefield. The Manaspas move in, they push in, they are trying their darndest to deal with these frickin' camels, but the 9, maybe the Viper waited a little bit too long. A band of Manaspas go after the Treb, not a bad move, but the numbers are just not there for our Georgian, who cleans up the front 3 Trebs, but oh no. It is our Chinese in blue Hera who takes game number 1. I don't mean to sound so surprised. Look at the army counts. The last 15 minutes have basically been Hera toying with the Viper like a kitten with a ball of yarn with these camels and Arbalests. Basically fantastic army built here by our Chinese to absolutely wreck the meme build of the Viper, who went full on Manaspa play. And wow, I really don't understand why the Viper chose that moment to send a dozen Manaspas up to the north, who, by the way, all ended up dying. I feel like a dozen Manaspas here could have absolutely been game-changing, especially with those 9 camels that were kind of parked out here at Bohemian Grove up to the north, and the rest were down here. Or maybe not the rest. There still are reinforcements coming, so the army was big, but not that big. Arbalests are a threat. But let's take a look at the armor on the Manaspa. 6 pierce armor. That is Hussar level pierce armor against the unit that does 10 damage. So 4 damage a shot to 110 HP. Wow. Okay, so yeah. I really do wonder if the Viper should have sent something else up here. Maybe some light cavalry to distract. It's a bit of a weird hypothetical, right? Because if the Viper didn't send those units up here, then Hera wouldn't have had to send those camels or train those camels up there to deal with those units, and then he'd add more camels down here. So who the hell knows if it would have any impact? All I know is the Viper was really outnumbered, took an absolute terrible engage for the 3rd time this game, and just was being pressed into way too much. Game 1 going firmly to Hera. Look at the APM on these absolute beasts. Peak APM, middle of the game for the Viper. Peak APM right towards the end for Hera. Of course, he was microing the hell out of 2 or 3 different army groups. Manaspas versus camels with their 18, I believe. 18 attack bonus against cavalry. And the Manaspa is not exactly a tanky unit with only 110 HP. And even though it has 8 Every time I see that, I have to remind myself not to burst out laughing and just restrain myself to giggling, because what the, an 8? What are you, a boyar? Dear Lord. But doesn't really matter. That 11 attack is not what you care about. It's that 18 attack bonus that really comes into play. But wow, let's take a look at the stats here for a second. The economy, wow. Less than 10% economy difference, and most of that difference is in relic gold. Hera taking about 2,000 more gold than his opponent. The Viper getting a lot more wood, but fell behind in all the other resources. Conversions, 1 apiece, not really playing any kind of significant role. 146 kills, 162 kills for our Chinese. So he killed more, and he killed more villagers. Big surprise there. He was the one putting on the aggression the almost the entire game. The Viper did poke and prod a little bit into his opponent's base, even though I believe it was the Viper who was here first with his army. Ultimately, though, Hera's just diverse army composition, in particular this absolute crazy Camel Rider and the Arbalest to soften up the Manaspas, or maybe even clean up the Manaspas that are lucky enough to survive the Camel onslaught, just absolutely overwhelms, takes game number 1. And if the rest of the series is going to be like this, oh man, we are in for an absolute treat. But enough mental masturbation. Let's just dive right into game number 2. Okay, in game number 2, we have a much clearer picture of the starting positions here. So let's take a look before I hit the unpause button, or depause, whatever the hell, the pause button. 170 wood apiece. So again, these resources are meant to mimic the 2-minute 30-second mark of a random map game with, and I don't know if that's meant to be with the 9 villager start or just the typical 3 villager start. That irrelevant. So 50 food for each, because they're each training 1 villager. So 170 food, 170 wood, 100 food, 100 gold, and 200 stone. And then let's see the exploration. Yeah, so you can see already the amount of extra exploration. In a normal random map game, you would not have seen that boar. Maybe you would have seen this one. No, you would not have seen this one. The walls are not enough, I don't think, to see this boar. But there you go. This is the starting position. Just makes things a little bit more chaotic a little bit earlier. But anyway, let's stop talking about the chaos and watch it unfold as Hera, this time in the north of the map, playing as the Bohemians, slaughters himself some pepperoni. Maybe I'll order some pizza after I cast this game. Domino's does have a special on their pepperoni feast, and the regular viewers of Cast of Empires know how much Daddy loves his pepperoni. The Viper this time playing as the Slavs. So this is interesting because I'm going to zoom out. We are on Arena. Back walls are being destroyed. We are on Arena, which generally follows a 3-part meta, a 3-part stage. Traditionally, we'll see if this one does as well. In stage 1, the players just rush up to Castle Age so that they can enter stage 2, build monasteries, and go after these relics. Then once all 5 relics are gathered, once all 5 relics are taken to the respective national museums of the players, who are currently still pushing deer, then we enter stage 3 of the game, where the players just build the biggest armies they possibly can and then duke it out. And generally the player who controls the map, generally the player who has more gold and relic gold and whatnot, is the one who ends up winning. But why did I say it's particularly interesting? Because these are 2 civilizations with 2 monk features. Now one, let's be fair when I say that, one is a lot more relevant, a lot earlier on than the other. I mean, the Slavs, man, oh man, can they perform a smush. Their monks do move 20% faster than normal, and they don't need to research nothing for that. That just happens automatically. And then the Bohemians have possibly one of the coolest upgrades in the game, called Hussite Reforms, where they can turn their entire monk line and monk upgrades into trash by costing only food. Now that is an Imperial Age upgrade, so not too sure that's going to play a role. Oh, I could just love seeing these little animal butts everywhere. I feel like having a baby and constantly being surrounded by adorable little toys and plush stuffies and books with adorable cartoon cats and dogs and baby sheep and whatnot. It distorts your distorts your reality. You start seeing adorable things. Although, to be fair, I love animal butts left, right, and center on this map. In this game, I should say, especially the elephants. But we'll see who is going to be first to Castle Age, who will contest the relics, who is even exploring the map. Right now, Hera hasn't seen a single relic with his scout still in Dark Age. That line of sight is definitely going to go up once the scout hits Feudal. The Viper, okay. The Viper's playing it Howard Hughes style and not even leaving his settlement, opting to go for his deer push. Did Hera push all of his deers? I feel like Hera's deer were here. Deer, not deers. Deer were here, which is better for him because they were closer to the mill, whereas the Viper's deer are on the left and his mill is to the north. Anytime you can get your mill partly on the way to the deer is fantastic. But oh no, the Viper gets delayed even more. Stubborn deer. Okay. They're getting their lumber. Go drop off your lumber and go kill that deer. That's exactly what they do. I love, by the way, when players do stuff like this. 7 lumber. Why the hell not? Doesn't hurt. You know what does hurt? A villager derping out here. A bit of a glitch in the Matrix. Uh-oh, Neo. This is like when he noticed that in the first Matrix, which is Come At Me, I Don't Care, is the best Matrix. Or actually the only Matrix that's good. When he sees the woman on the street and he turns around and ends up being an Agent Smith. By the way, if you're not familiar, this is something I discovered about a year ago that I shared with everyone on my live stream. Did you know that the Terminator movies and the Matrix are interrelated? Did you know they have the same creator, and that creator intended the end of the Terminator, where Skynet destroys the world and takes over the world, to be the beginning of the Matrix, where the robots have already taken over the world and are harvesting human beings for their sustenance, their energy. Very cool. Google it. It is absolutely the most bonkers thing I have ever heard, because who would have thought that those two franchises were related? I mean, maybe on the face of it, with evil robots, but how many movies have evil robots? Anyway, Hera scouting has seen 1, 2, 3 relics. Which one has he not seen? How absolutely sour is this? The one tile, the one little tile in this tiny isthmus of darkness is the one relic that Hera hasn't seen. He's even going to discover this one now in Feudal Age with that scout that has more vision. The Viper hasn't seen a single relic. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. That is absolutely atrocious and hilarious, depending on whether you're on Team Viper or Team Hera. Yours truly, until they invent gambling on this, is Team Nobody. Team Let's Have a Good Game. I can't believe the Viper. Oh my God. How sour is this relic scouting out of the players? Okay, he's definitely going to discover it now, right? Yeah, okay, so the Viper finally sees his first relic as he's 2 minutes away from Castle. Hera beating him by about 30 seconds with the blacksmith, the market, and the barracks. So he's training spearmen, generally to accompany your monks as they go out onto the map to get relics. A lot of dire wolves on this map. I feel like more than usual. Actually, maybe fewer than usual. Only 3. Okay, it looks like the Viper discovered the relic that's close to his apartment, and Hera immediately sends. So this is a bit of a 4D chess move out of our Bohemian, because he knows that the standard in Arena, is to send your scout to stand by a relic. Now, why do you do that? Because the monk comes along, and a scout with their attack bonus only needs 3 whacks of the sword to kill a monk, and they attack pretty fast, 2 seconds. So if your opponent sends a scout to the relic, you instead send a spearman to counter the unit that counters your unit. 4D chess. Now another 4D chess move. This time it's the Viper who, with his scouting, discovers the fact that Hera, our Bohemian, is placing his Ark of the Covenant in the center of the map, right next to this relic. I've seen this being done more and more, especially with the Georgians, especially with the Armenians who come with that free relic. And then you put the relic inside the fortified church, and all of a sudden you've got yourself a defensive structure that fires arrows. Players are just absolutely circling each other here, maneuvering their units. It looks like potentially Hera is going to get the first kill of the game yet again. Wacka-wacka-do go the scout, and Hera positioning his spearman. Let's see if the Viper notices. He notices! Oh, that is absolutely amazing. You know what? Let's follow the Viper's vision here. Maybe should have done that about 30 seconds ago. Hera's moving his scout as a spearman to the south. Oh, if the Viper goes right, he's a dead man. And that is why he's not going to the south. Is he going to the southern exit of his base so that he can trap Hera's scout? Let's see it. No, he does not. He just wants to keep this guy safe and sound. The Viper playing as defensive as he possibly can. 3 monasteries against 2 monasteries and a siege workshop. Now, I made a big stink about the Slavic smush, the siege monk rush. But right now, it really does look like it is our Bohemian who wants to put on the smush. He just wants to cuddle up and smush his opponent. There's Devotion, the new technology, making it harder for your units to get converted in Castle Age. I mean, you guys had to have heard that wolf howling. That was ridiculously loud. 2 monks being sent out. Although with Hera only training spearmen, not too sure you really even need to do this. Look, 1, 2, 3, and the monk is dead. That is why Hera's move here, interesting as it is absolutely brilliant to send the spearmen out to the relics. That is just a counter to a counter. You are playing at such a level. Both players getting atonement. Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, settle in. Atonement is the technology that allows monks to convert other monks. So we are about to enter a monk war as the Viper gets his first relic. I feel like he should have gotten a lot more than that. Yeah, he's already got 1 here. There's no way he's going to let Hera take this relic. Although, look at this. Look at this. Hera decides to delete redemption as well for the Viper. Of course, he's seen a siege workshop here in the center. Why the hell wouldn't you get redemption? Both players attempting to convert the hell out of each other's army. The Viper's scout, or the Viper's monk did die to Hera's scout here. No, what? Okay, not the scout. I guess the monk was being converted by the monk and then decided to delete that monk instead. Band of roving monks here. I mean, it's 2 relics to 2. The Viper did ultimately get the one that was here, it looks like. And let's compare movement speed on these monks. The yellow monk, 0.84 tiles a second. The blue monk, 0.7 tiles, 20% faster movement speed. And there's no way you can engage now with this monk. You cannot. You have to hide that relic for a little bit. Keep it hidden. Keep it safe, says Gandalf to Frodo. As the Mangonel gets converted. Uh-oh, and all of a sudden, this very aggressive forward position out of our Bohemian is a huge liability. All of a sudden, the 2 relics that he's got here are up for grabs. Another Mangonel. Now he's going to need Mangonels to destroy a lot of this infrastructure, and Hera there with an attempted attack round, trying his best, but oh no, never mind. The Mangonel does die. Okay, never mind. This is what I'm talking about, guys. When I say this is going to be very important, it ultimately ends up being not important at all, as the Viper just ignores it and tries instead to bust his way into the base here with his own siege workshop. So all of a sudden, a lot of blue infrastructure has disappeared and has become yellow infrastructure. Monasteries unable to be converted, so they are safe for a minute. And look at this, Hera has given up any semblance of trying to defend the center of the map, has given up complete control of it, even though the Viper again, tell me he's going to build a ram out of here. Okay, maybe not. Maybe he's just relying on this Mangonel, which is going to do a very good job at demolishing this monastery, but not quickly at all. A good job, but a job that's going to take a while. Hera manages to sneak out a monk. He pivots to the east, but you've got yourself a faster monk chasing you. Oh no. Things are going from bad to worse here for our Bohemian. Probably wishes he could conscript this wolf into attacking that yellow monk. Oh no, the Viper just trying to penetrate the base. He's got 14 monks. Hera has 0 army supply. The monks in the British square formation are preparing to penetrate the base. Hera, he's going up to Imperial. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is that the right move? Right now, being besieged? I guess he feels like he needs Trebs at the moment. He is safe here with the castle, with the 8 range. I mean, safe from one side, not safe from the other side. If he puts his Treb here, he's safe from the monks on the left, but not from the monks. Oh, no, sorry, never mind. What am I thinking about? I think Trebs have to be converted face-to-face like a ram. So yeah, never mind. Hera is actually quite safe here. So maybe going up to Imperial is not such a bad idea. I just have a very bad feeling about it. When your opponent is pushing into you this hard, I don't know. I don't know what to think about this rush to Imperial by Hera, but I guess the Viper kind of agrees with Hera, which means I'm wrong when the two best players in the world do the same thing. And your caster says, I don't know about that. Chances are the caster's wrong. Oh, the line of sight, the sniper lines. In they go into the town center. Oh, he's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. No ballistics yet for our Bohemian. The monks pop out. But look at the sniper lines. Amazing. Look at Hera. Oh my god. Oh man, whack-a-mole here with monks. Epic, epic play. A few monks. I love the gathering point for the Viper's monks, because anything that pops out of here for Hera, instead of converting his opponent's ram, is going to get converted himself. But the real question is how does our Slav plan on attacking into this? He's got 710 stone, disappeared into 60 for a second, which tells me he was plopping down a castle somewhere. There it is. Ooh, but the castle's in range of this castle. And your opponent just hit Imperial, and he's getting block printing, so his monks are going to outrange yours. And he's getting illumination, so they're going to rejuvenate their faith a lot quicker than yours. I don't know about this location. The Viper is being very aggressive. Something we don't frequently see out of the Viper. Why are these monks running away? You've got 11 monks full faith. Oh, look at this Teeth train. And into the National Slavic Museum go the last two relics. The Viper is going to have 5 relics to 0, but he's in Imperial as well. First Treb. I figured it would come out of here for no reason particularly. You might want to unpack this guy and start attacking the castle. Villager absconds into the safety of the town center. Hera's entire center position, by the way, completely gone. We've got a random set of Bohemian monks. He is an Imperial. He can research Hussite reforms. The problem for him is he's already got half the technologies he needs. Not too sure what more he can do. The technologies are only half the story. There's block printing for our Slav as well. Technologies really are only half the story. It's the cost of the monk themselves. Hera's got 0 villagers on food right now. His economy is absolutely a disaster. And in comes the ram. Get some villagers. Get some villagers. Attack the ram. 1, 2, 3. And down goes the Treb, and Hera's offensive capabilities have now been completely nullified. He converted villagers. He's trapping these villagers in here so they can get converted and killed one by one, Lord of the Flies style. Absolutely crazy moves, and yeah, no shock to anyone there. Holy moly, the Viper showing us the absolute power of the Slavic smush, although not really a major smush, not really a lot of S in that S&M. More of a masochist is our Slav here with the monk rush, so a mush. Okay, I guess we'll call it a mush. He is converting villagers and monks to the south. He has trapped Hera's villagers to the north, destroyed Hera's offensive capabilities, lamed his economy, and in 26 short minutes, it is the Viper who ties up the series with illumination of his own. 18 monks to 29. This is just a numbers game at this point. PKPM for both. A little bit more relaxed than last game, which is nice to see. Nice to see. I wonder what their heart rate was. If you're not, if you haven't been watching NAC5, they've done a very cool thing, which I don't know if they've done in previous versions of the NAC Cup, or NAC, but they've strapped heart rate monitors onto the players, which means that you can actually see when the players get all excited and nervous and whatnot. Yeah, economy is not really too big of a difference. Relic gold, not really too big of a difference. Let's take a look. Here we go. Conversions, 13 out of 27. Literally half the Bohemian military was converted into the Slavic Empire, whereas only 4 out of 34, only 10%. Now, in any game, I mean, 50% is redonkulous. That is just a ridiculous amount of army to lose, and monks technically are army. But in any game, converting 10% of your opponent's army is a fantastic stat. In this case, unfortunately, 10 versus 50%, or just under 50%, leaves our Bohemian out to dry. And even though he got his castle up, even though he rushed up to Imperial, And again, was that the right move? I mean, they both did it. You know what? That's like me asking, should they have gotten, where is it? Why was this chart? What am I? Oh, here it is. You can see how close Atonement was. 1436, 1448, literally 12 seconds apart. That's like me saying, they don't need Atonement. And then the players do it at the exact same time. They both went up to Imperial roughly at the same time. And so that answers that question of whether Hera should have gone up to Imperial. I guess the answer is yes. But besieged on all fronts, to the north, to the west, to the southeast, a Bermuda Triangle of absolute death. It is the Viper who evens up the series, takes game number 2, and let's see what game number 3 looks like. Okay, game number 3. Oh, look at that. We're on Arabia. All right. Arabia with more resources, as the Viper this time playing as the Khmer, the Kamai, to the southwest of the map. To the northeast, Hera playing as the the Dravidians. Now, why am I laughing? Why did I almost just fart a little bit? Because there was so much drama with these two. I don't know if it was real drama. I don't think they're actually they were fighting over anything in real life. But there was a lot of fun drama in the last few months when the Viper made certain statements about the Dravidian civilization and Hera made certain statements about the Dravidian civilization. They both made videos about the Dravidian civilization, and now Hera here playing as the Dravidian civilization. The Viper needs to win this to stick it to Hera. Hera needs to win this to stick it to the Viper. I don't care who wins all the entire set. The winner of this game is going to be the real winner here. As what do we got here? Bush B. Okay. So Bush A, I believe we saw it was on what? Serengeti, African clearing? You don't really see it very often, but Bush B is very, very common. I guess the developers, after a certain while, gave up on naming all the different types of trees that they could, and then just settled into a very relaxed level of shrubbery naming as a second boar gets pulled in here. Yeah, it is a boar, not a javelina. Hera now pushes out. Did he get his, did he push his deer? Are these his deer? I'm not too sure he pushed those deer. The Viper is definitely pushing his deer. So Hera, oh, maybe Hera, oh, he hasn't discovered his deer. That's why. So he is heading straight into them. And let's see what he does once he discovers them. Immediately pushes. Okay, maybe after taking a bit of a smoke break, then he immediately pushes. That's another super fun thing about the NAC tournament. If you're watching it on Twitch, on Nili's Twitch channel live, or even his YouTube live, there's smoke breaks, which is hilarious. I don't think I know anyone who smokes anymore. My parents used to smoke. My aunt and uncle used to smoke until my cousin, very adorably at the age of 7 or 8, told my aunt he wouldn't love her anymore. Mommy, I'm not going to love you anymore if you keep smoking. And that guilt, that adorableness made, literally, she quit that day and hasn't picked up a cigarette ever since. Talk about willpower. It is not an easy thing to do to get over an addiction as powerful as smoking. But for the love of your baby, I guess you do anything. Anyway, let's take a look at the matchup that we're going to be watching. The Khmer, man, oh man, do they have some of the heaviest hitting units. Scorpions with extra range, ballista elephants, farms that don't need a mill. I mean, you need a mill to build them, but you don't need a mill to drop off any food whatsoever, which means the Viper, literally, if he wanted to, could build a farm right here in the corner, in the middle of absolutely nowhere. The Dravidians, though, oh man, let's see some of those elephant archers. Let's see Woot Steel. Let's see a whole bunch of super cool features that they come with, not the least of which is the Urumi Swordsman. And I'm going to do my usual plug for the Urumi Swordsman. This video is not sponsored by Urumi Swordsman, but after you watch this video, into the search bar of Google, type in Urumi Swordsman and watch some of the absolute amazing videos of actual people with Urumi swords. So basically, Urumi Swordsman doing what are they called? I know in like karate they're called katas. I don't know what they're called. Just doing maneuvers with their Urumi sword, which is a flexible metal sword. Not exactly like a whip, but very whip-like. By the way, both players hitting the feudal age literally at the same moment. Both with 18 villagers, both with 0 TC idle time, both vying for the high ground here. Looks like Hera's scout is the stronger of the two, as yet another spearman moves in. We saw his attempt in game number 2 on Arena to try to sandwich The Viper's scout. Oh, the wolf jumps into the battle. So we've got 2 police chases, 2 body cams that need a watching. The wolf will catch up to the spearman, will take away some of his HP, which means actually good news for the Viper, I guess. The more HP the wolf takes away from the spearman, the less his scouts have to kill. But the wolf is here. It is on the high ground for a second. And this is the most exciting thing that's happening on the map as the wolf lies dead on the dance floor. No more howling at the moon for you. Hera moves into the back of the Viper's base, discovers the wood line. And let's see what kind of damage he can get done here. So he can body block one of these villagers with the spearman. Okay, maybe not. Hera has been very fond lately of spearman pushes in the earlier stages of the game. He says that they are quicker than the militia line units, and so they can actually catch up to villagers because their movement speed is 1, and the villagers, what, 0.8? Yeah, 0.8. Oh, another super cool feature of the Khmer is their ability to garrison villagers inside houses. Now, that does come with a cost. Not exactly the worst cost to pay, but when you garrison a villager inside a house, you do not actually regenerate HP like if you were to garrison them in a town center or a castle, for example. They just kind of come out with the same HP they had when they went in. Now, you might be wondering if the Viper can place down farms anywhere. Why the hell is he still going with the traditional 8 farms around the old town center? That's probably so he can garrison his villagers inside there when Hera, if and when Hera attacks. Although it is the Viper now pushing out into Hera's base as well. Hera reinforcing with a few spearmen. More and more scouts. Man, all 3 games, the players have been very active with their scouts. It is an absolute delight to see. Because this, at the end of the day, oh my god, he garrisons his villagers. He pops them out of the... Can you set a waypoint for a house to ungarrison? Like, if you were to take your town center and click your gathering point, let's say here, to this beautiful Monet lily pad, the villagers would come out somewhere here and move. Can you do that with houses? I'm not too sure. Because if you can, the Viper's maneuver here was absolutely baller. The first ungarrisoning 3 villagers to try to catch the scout, then ungarrisoning them again to the north to try to catch the spearman. Absolute baller moves out of our Khmer, who now runs back into the houses. I mean, it's got to be a possibility, right? Those villagers came out of the house in 2 different spots. So it's got to be. Oh, this one's trapped, though. Oh, no. He made it in. He made it in. I can't click his stats right now. And the Viper says, you know what? A good defense involves a good offense. But anyway, my point was, before I distracted myself for the last 2 minutes, was it is absolutely awesome to see these high-level players scout as much as they do. Age of Empires, in addition to being a game of economics, i.e. how to spend your very scarce, limited resources and how to accumulate them, it's a war game. And in war, as in everything in life, information is frickin' power. And the more information you have on your opponents, the better you are, the more you can do, the more you can prepare to either set the pace of the game or to defend against the pace that's being set against you if you've fallen behind, for example. Scouting information is absolutely everything at the 13-minute mark of a game, because right now you're not really going to be coming out with any massive heavy-hitting units. I mean, maybe the Cumans with their rams, fine. Maybe maybe some donjons, but on the whole, out of the 45 civilizations, on the whole, you are not coming out with any massively destructive units at this stage of the game. So you need to know what's coming at you in Castle Age, or you need to know if nothing's coming at you, what you should be preparing. For example, do you see an archery range? Okay, go skirmisher. If you see a stable, maybe add a few spearmen to your resources lines, because you might be expecting a few of these scouts to pop out. Both players poking and prodding at each other. Not a lot of kills. We are still in Feudal, so these units are weak as shit. More of a zoning, annoying, hey, let's try to make my opponent make a mistake kind of unit, as opposed to a Teutonic Knight, I will crack your head open and feast on the brainy flesh inside kind of unit. And Hera, he's heading home. Of course he is. Look at the HP on his units. All 4 are absolutely weak AF. He's trying to bust into here, but... Oh, I don't know if he did this on purpose, Hera. Putting the palisade here, giving himself even more room to defend. But the Viper, holy moly, 9 scouts. Yeah, these 2 weaker scouts are not going to accomplish much. Sing. Synchronized attacks are the best thing ever in Age of Empires. Do it again, do it again, do it again. I feel like Veruca Salt. Daddy, tell Willy Wonka I want to see synchronized attacks, Daddy. And the Viper gets at it. Oh, there it is. Now, my wife would probably say this is your OCP acting up. That you like to see this kind of synchronized geometrical attack. To her, I would say, maybe. But I don't really give a shit. Let's keep watching the fun here as these scouts. I mean, they're not really accomplishing. At the end of the day, they're not really accomplishing much. 3 spearmen. Ooh, if the Viper, he must know that 2 of these spearmen are basically on death's door. And that's probably why he's pushing in here with 2 more. He's got 11 scouts. I mean, this is an absolute amazing army out of the Viper. He has invested significantly, even though somehow he is still heading up to Castle Age, only 50 seconds behind his opponent. All of the spearmen are dead. There are a few archers on the map. The 2 weaker scouts for Hera, as he likes to do, are scouting around, looking for avenues of attack, looking for relics. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hera's got to be careful here. Out of the 11 scouts, only 6 survive. This is like only 5 survive, right as I say that. I love when these kinds of things happen. It reminds me of every single fantasy novel I ever read growing up. David Eddings, Terry Brooks. Doesn't really matter. Robert Jordan. They all start out the same. Tolkien even. You start out with a fellowship, to use that word. And then one dies, one goes missing, the fellowship somehow gets broken, and then there's less and less and less fellowship and more individual storylines. The Viper hits castle, 1 town center, 2 town center, just as a big, chunky, waddly boy comes out, but he's got knights, and he walled himself in, so this elephant is not going to accomplish very much at the moment. I mean, I don't know why he's not turning around and attacking the knight, especially with the crossbow support. Crossbows with Bodkin, by the way. So 2 extra attack, 2 extra range. And Hera's defending at home. Fantastic, fantastic momentum here for our Dravidian. 21 villagers on food for our Khmer. Now, one thing I should mention. A corollary to the fact that they don't have to drop off any food at a mill. Take a look at our Khmer's food count at the top left of your screen. Look at it going up a unit every second, every millisecond. That's because as long as a Khmer farmer is working on a field, tilling that said field, automatically 1 unit gets added to the coffers as long as he's working or she's working that field. These are now light caps. Should be able to bust into this no problem. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So that gives the Khmer a very strong ability to spam their knights. They don't have to wait for a village to accumulate, let's say 10 food. 13 food, whatever amount of food you are, depending on your upgrades. They can just continually add and add and add to the stockpile, which means you can get out knights, you can get out any food-intensive units much more quickly. Much quicker. Much more quickly. Guys, sorry, it really has been a long day. When I start saying much more quickly instead of quicker, you best believe it's been a long day. Villager down, 2nd villager down, 3rd villager down, but the knight's going to take some damage. It is on the high ground. So we'll get one of these spearmen, but oh, he absconds, he runs away. The Viper, amazing. Oh, but look at this, he managed to catch her. What? Wait a second. I generally don't do this, but ¿Qué pasó here? Why were there 2 villagers from Hera here? He's in Castle Age. What was this for? Can't possibly be for a siege workshop. Can it? I mean, it wouldn't be beyond the realm of possibility to drop a Dravidian siege workshop. Their siege units do cost a lot less wood. About 1/3 less wood. Not about 1/3, 1/3 less wood. But Hera's forward attack here, just like in the arena game, gets discovered by the Viper. And yet again, map vision, knowledge, information, positioning plays a pivotal role here. And even though Hera, I mean, look at his army count, is very much ahead. 10 crossbows. Oh, they're all the way back here. By the way, he saw his opponent's 2nd town center. I don't think he saw the 3rd one. Hera himself has 2 town centers, so he doesn't know that what we know, which with our God's eye view as casters, as viewers, that he is down 16 villagers. His score is not down that much. It's down like 4 or 5%. he must have really been planning to do something special with these villagers, that the loss of these villagers and the loss of all these crossbows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crossbows, 2 villagers, and then eventually probably this chucking. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Age of Empires NSFW here with a big old gray wrinkly butt. Hera ultimately decides that the loss here in the center is too much. And it is the Viper playing against the Dravidians who takes game number 2. Light cav versus crossbow, peak APM, fantastic for the Viper. A little bit a few minutes ago, and Hera also in the middle of the game. Economies, I can't see them being too different or even too big at the moment, about 1,500 apart. So about 10 to 15%. Not going to do the math real, because that's probably going to take a long time for me to do. But okay, you know what? Now it's starting to look, the picture's starting to get more clear. Not only has the Viper killed more villagers, 8-0, but he's also killed 2 more military units, about to become 3 more military units, about to become 10 dead villagers for our Dravidian, who is falling back significantly. And even though he gets that free wood, if only he was the Bengalis and got 2 villagers for free whenever he went up in age, he'd have 4 extra villagers, and he'd be a little bit closer to closing that gap. But wow. Okay, the Viper takes game number 2. Hera on the verge, not of elimination, but because remember, we are in the Swiss stage. Not too sure why it's called Swiss. Why is it because there's no elimination? So it's all peaceful and friendly. Why is it called the Swiss stage? I'm not too sure. I'll ask Edelweiss to chime in something that he probably would know as a Swiss gentleman and a fantastic viewer of the channel. But in any event, that's neither here nor there. Ooh, the Viper is 1 win away from taking the set. Hera 1 win away from elimination. Let's just, there's nothing left to do. Let's just dive into the next game. And we have into game number 4 in this best of 5 between Hera and the Viper. Hera this time playing as the Byzantines on the left side of this wonky map. The Viper playing as the Poles on the right side of this wonky map. A map called Canberra. Okay, I guess we've taken the international flight from Toronto. We've sat through 7 different layovers, and we have finally reached Australia. Okay. What exactly makes this Canberra? I'm not too sure. What is here in the middle? Perch. Whoa. 30,000 food? Okay. So I thought Canberra was landlocked. Is Canberra on the coast? And if it is on the coast, are there perch or some other type of source of food? Are all the animals so juicy and luscious? Oh man, these freaking deer. No, the deer has its usual 140. The trees have the usual 100. This deer also 140. Looks like there's no starting deer in the main settlement, so it's a bit of an interesting map. We've got a hybrid here of Socotra being a very small enclosed off map with these buttes sticking out of the edges of the map meets I want to say no, what am I thinking of? Arena. Except with palisades. And look at this. The players know that there's food here. There's good fishing in these waters. And so they both immediately plop down a dock. Why is this map called Canberra? And by the way, I think I'm saying that right. It's not Canberra. I think it's Canberra, the capital of Australia, right? Man, down under. Definitely a place I want to visit. So many places on the bucket list. So many travel plans delayed by COVID. The Viper, with his swashbuckling villagers, does manage to penetrate. Hera, uncharacteristic here, does lose the palisade. Will probably lose the villager unless his scout comes and intervenes. Oh, we've got a bit of a rage forest situation here. No, it is the Viper who gets the first kill. And down goes the villager of Hera, whose scout has more HP. I wonder why he's running away from this engagement. This must be a high elo kind of thing, where you run away and try to get the first attack multiple times and lose less and less HP. But ultimately they decide to fight? Question mark? Man, the Viper would love if this villager could close in, but you know what? Forget war, forget death, forget anything and everything related. It is actually Hera with those fancy maneuvers who saves 3 HP on his scout. But as I was saying, put some flowers in the barrels of your gun, tie your hair up into braids, stop shaving, stop showering, and join the 1960s hippie revolution here in the center of Australia, where both the Byzantine and the Pole shipping fleets are harvesting and murdering and killing and eating the native perch population. Sorry, I didn't mean to go all Greta Thunberg on you. Oh, man. So the Viper has been blinded. Hera Scout free to roam the map. And as I've said multiple times, knowledge is power. And this is exactly why, because Hera sees this. Oh, just the love tab the villager taps. I love it when they tap the horse's ass and then the unit dies. Oh, very sour here. But mission accomplished kind of for Hera. He's discovered this mining colony that's being put up. Looks like the Viper has stopped at 2 fishing ships. Hera continuing with 3. Both of them heading up to Feudal. Both of them 1 unit apart. 22 civilian to 21 population. 19 villagers each. But it looks like Hera, our Byzantine, has spent a bit more wood. Now, are we going to see water battles on here? I'm not too sure the Poles are going to be able to handle their own against the Byzantines in the water. I would absolutely love to see a Draman snake his way all the way across this canal and just start absolutely shelling away at some of this infrastructure. Not because I want any particular player to win. Like I said, until they invent gambling for this, I am completely neutral. But just because I want to see Dramans. I want to see Dramans. Who doesn't want to see Dramans? Daddy. Sorry, I didn't mean to go all Veruca Salt on you yet again. I am a bit of a broken record, ladies and gentlemen. I do know that. I do. My wife tells me I say the same jokes. I make the same puns. Which I guess I could call dad jokes now. Oh my god, oh my god. I got very excited for absolutely nothing. This tower is going to go up. Oh my god. Did he get anything with that demo ship? I guess he got some palisade. Oh, what a waste of a demo ship right as a fire galley pops out from our Byzantine. Remember, these guys do attack 25% faster for the Byzantines. Attack seconds between attack 0.2. I don't think it'll show compared to any other because it's such a small number. Okay, for now, our Byzantine town center. I was actually gonna say town center instead of watchtower. Man, it's been a long day. That Byzantine watchtower is up. It has 20% more HP in feudal age. So instead of 850, add 20%, 170 to that to get 1020. And more of the Viper's villagers are moving out of his base. Fire ship for the Byzantine is attacking the fishing ship of the Poles. Ooh. Down it goes. Okay. And see, this is exactly why scouting is important. Hera knew to place his tower here. Guess decided to cancel the second or the original tower that he had going up. And now the Viper says, oh, I like the idea of a tower. Places it a little bit close to the water, but has no real choice. Doesn't have any range upgrades just yet. And so if he wants to reach these fishing ships, he's going to have to jeopardize a little bit of safety, a little bit of security, a little bit of comfort. And more importantly, a little bit of HP in order to reach these fishing ships. And immediately he goes right after them. Forget the fire ships. He doesn't care. He doesn't need them. Our poll, is this a full work? Is it a blacksmith? Because they do share the same icon. It is a blacksmith. Let's take a look at resources. Both players sitting at 28 population. I should say 28 villagers / fishing ship population. Are there any other locations to gather fish? Yeah, there are. There's some shorefish over here. But really, it's just this one perch patch in the center. This school of perch. And look at that. Tower down. Viper has to run away. Hera in firm control of the game at the 12-minute mark. So far, has control of the water. Has control of this incredible source of food. Which is just continuously giving 15 food. Oh, I told you I could say left is right is left, up is up, down is down. And I could literally say 1 + 1 is 2. And the players would figure out a way to make it 3. And right as I say, Hera has firm control of that perch patch. Immediately a demo wrap. Now, I don't know if you want to reveal the second one just yet. Is he going to reveal it? Is he going to garrison it? Looks like Hera's villagers are inside the Viper's base. I want to look so bad, but I want to see what goes on with this demo too. Boom goes the frickin' dynamite. Okay, Dramans be damned. It is the lower range fire galley and the chunky watchtower that are making an appearance here, but Hera's got to be careful. There's already a counter tower up. What are we watching here? What was the point of that? What was that fancy maneuver? Was that to stop Hera's villagers? They could have just gone around to the south and to the north of that. What was, let me know in the comments. You guys know a lot more than I do. What the hell was the point of that palisade gate? You know the point of these villagers? They are taking down this tower. Extra HP be damned. But at the same time, it looks like the Viper's blacksmith, his house, also under attack as more fire galleys move forward. They're going to find a few fishermen and women here. Oh, they just want to peacefully gather their fish and go home, but instead the fire ships show up and burn their fish traps to the ground. Or their fish nets, I guess. Let's take a look at the bases. Let's take a look at the resources of the players. We've got 33 Byzantine villagers. No secondary structures just yet. Actually, no primary structure either in feudal age. Our Byzantine's out of wood, and he's housed. Oh no, that's not great at all. He needs a lot more wood so he can start putting up structures so they can start planning on going up to Castle Age. Because look at that. He's got 500 food, almost 200 gold needed. So he is well on his way resource-wise to going up to Imperial, but... okay, let's see the Viper. He's got his market up. We saw the blacksmith go up. It still is up. It's not going to be taken down by a tower anytime soon. And he's already heading up to Castle Age. 7 population space for him. There is that Polish folwark. 8% of the farm's value automatically added to your coffers. One of the only civs in the game where you probably won't see farms circling the town center. I was going to say the Khmer as well, but the Viper last game showed us that that is not necessarily the case. Hera using this opportunity to get more and more villagers. He's finally, I see, has his primary structure up, that market that we saw being built, but where is the secondary? Okay, there it is, the blacksmith. Okay, so he's lost all of his resources on the top left of our screen, which tells me he has spent them going up to Castle Age. Here we're doing a little bit of landscaping here, clearing up some sticks, some palisades. And this is a nice move out from the Viper, who is 30 seconds and 7 stone away from plopping down a castle. GOG, I wonder what this is for. And let's watch Hera's vision here as he sees 3 miners, 4 miners, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 freaking village, 13 villagers have popped out of the ether. Hera responds immediately, but how do you respond? You're still a minute and a half. He responds by plopping down a market right where he thinks his opponent was going to build a castle, trying to lame the real estate. Says, I outbid you in this contest. And look at this, look at this. Oh, the Viper is right-clicking about as furiously as he possibly can. His castle, 55%. Will it go up? Is game number 4 going to end at the 19-20 minute mark? Tower is up. If only it was a Teutonic tower, could fit 5 more villagers, fire a few more arrows. No, it is not. 93, 94, the castle's going up. He has no way of dealing with his villager to the back. But why did the villager run away? Oh my god, Hera. Oh no, but you gotta get the corner. You gotta get the corner. He knows he got to get the corner. Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen, this castle's at 99.5%. I'm trying to click it and it goes up. It literally 1 hammer strike away. That is so sour for our Byzantine. I got so excited. I apologize. I do not mean to hypecast, but that was about as epic as a castle could be. That was as dramatic as possible. And of the 13 villagers, 11 of them live to tell the tale as they go and kill Bambi's mother. Maybe Bambi's father? I didn't see if they had horns. It looks like it had horns, so it's a man. Bambi's father gets harvested for his meat. I was gonna say organs, but that sounds even more, that sounds even grosser. And Hera with a counter castle by the skin of his teeth. The Viper got this castle up, and we've got an Obuch out. Hera sees it though. And up goes the Byzantine castle. He's in Castle Age, which means it automatically comes with 30% more HP. What a crazy back and forth game. The Viper's dock is down. I don't understand why Hera went for the house and not the blacksmith first, but it is what it is. Just 1,857 more attacks By the way, what's the attack speed on this? 2-second delay. So he needs 3,700 seconds to destroy this. What's 3,700 divided by 60 seconds a minute? About 60 minutes? So this will go down in about an hour. Fun with mathematics. I think I'm right. I might be totally wrong. Maybe a little bit more than 60. I saw you, Cataphract, peeking your little silver butt out of the castle. Obuch did die. And the Viper is heading up to Imperial, a barracks, finally a military structure for him, a monastery already almost completed to the top. He wants to gather these relics, and why the hell not? There are 5 relics on the map. I'm going to zoom out. Sorry for the wide zoom out. Yeah, there are only 5 relics. 3 of them are here to the south. The fire galleys move in yet again. No, they're just on patrol command, I guess, but venturing a little bit too far into the opponent's base. They do take a little bit of damage from the tower. Where are you going, sneaky villagers? You don't have enough stone for another castle. Ooh, okay. Okay, so our Pole. Where's the old Schlachter privileges? Now, Hera must be wondering, when are 35 Polish knights? In a minute, he'll be wondering, when are 35 Polish cavaliers going to pop out of the fog of war? Somewhere here, to the north, to the south, or maybe even just a straight headbutt in the center. Did this guy get the, no, 0 kills on this guy. It must be 1 kill on him. What the hell got the Obuch? Yet again, yours truly, your caster is confused. Pretty unit with the kite shield. Very pretty unit. By the way, he's going to discover with these other 2 that there's a monastery here with a relic. Okay, it wants to disengage. Does not want to risk losing a Cataphract at this stage of the game. I'm surprised that our Byzantine is going Cataphract against a cavalry civilization. I mean, you have the cheapest, not the cheapest. Actually, are they the cheapest? I think they might be the cheapest food-wise and on the whole in total, right? Byzantine camels. I think they just cost low 40s. And by that, I mean low 40 food, low 40 gold. So you have the perfect counter unit to your opponent's cavalry rush. Not that you're seeing any cavalry out of your opponent. I guess never mind. 3 knights. And Hera yet again with the absolute amazing scouting, sees as much as humanly possible. The Viper doesn't even know where his opponent is. He's seen just the little delicious tip of that farm. And man, Hera with his scouting is just absolute craziness. I love the just the scouting out of the but this is the risk that comes with scouting. You lose 2 of your Cataphracts to the Pole monks, and you lose even your last Cataphract. Where's this Treb going? Oh, he's running home because there's 3 Byzantine Trebs that gunned down his home. So he is heading back to the settlement. So the Viper actually now does not have a castle. I don't think I saw Schlachter being researched, which means that he is paying full price for these knights. Okay. It is what it ultimately is, as the Viper tries very cockily to get that relic, and the guy's the monk gets gunned down by the Cataphract. And let's see, the siege of the Polish settlement has begun. The first victim is the market. The next victim, I mean, tell me it's the Treb. Another Cataphract gets converted, but the monk, will he pay for the conversion with his life? Yes, he does. Now, that is a pretty good trade. Not gonna lie, for our Pole, who has busted into the settlement here with knights of his own. Why is it a good trade? The Cataphract is pretty damn expensive, 70 food, 75 gold. So when you just trade out 100 gold for that, and the monk, I mean, the monk died, but the Cataphract is still here. So both players nibbling into each other's bases. Viper, though, catches a whole bunch of villagers here to the back of Hera's base. But Hera, with the quick micro, immediately, saves a bunch of them who take a bunch of rock fire to the face. Knights need to be careful here. Mangonel trying to get the monk, but he overshoots his shot and misses the monks as the villagers close in and take out their wrath. against that one mangonel at the same time. Cataphract on converted Cataphract, 3v3, but there is a town center. There, correction, was a town center to support, and Hera is pushing in with a castle of his own, cancels it for the moment. And the Viper also pushing in with a castle, but the Viper, in his usual a little defensive style, builds the castle outside the settlement, not even negating the gold. So not too sure what the point of that castle is, except maybe to research Schlachter. But he doesn't have the resources to research Schlachter. He is training food-intensive light cavalry units at the same time. Hera is training Cataphract, getting the Trebuchet. Anytime this century, please. Oh yeah, synchronized attack. And oh my god, an exodus of Polish villagers out of the base. They run right by the castle. Hera wishes he started his castle 20 seconds ago so he could have gotten down at least 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 of these villagers as they try to escape. Ladies and gentlemen, in one of the firsts, we have an actual base trade situation in Age of Empires. I've seen it attempted. I've seen it kind of, sort of, but not really happen. I've seen it in StarCraft 2 a lot. I've seen it a lot in StarCraft 2, but in Age of Empires, he wants this area, he wants that stone, but I mean, there's stone up here that you can take. And look at this, the Viper is using his villagers, not Spanish, not Incan, not even Bohemian, but they will get the job done, especially with no murder holes. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. The Viper has taken firm control of Hera's base. Hera has taken firm control of the Viper's base, and we have topsy-turvy. The world has flipped upside down. Why did he stop attacking? Oh, because the Cataphracts are here and are slaughtering his villagers. That's a pretty good reason to stop attacking. Okay. It looks like the Viper is coming out on the short straw end of the deal here, although never mind. Down here, he is getting a good number of villager kills. Hera has to put 7 villagers. Both of these players idling a significant amount of villagers. Both of these players at the 35-minute mark of the game have very weak villager counts. Oh, these guys are in such perma shock that they're not even moving. That Cataphract's gonna get a few notches on his belt. This blacksmith, will it go down before the end of the game? At this point, Hera's just leaving it up, not destroying it with these trebs, just for style, I would say. And now he's going after the relics. Little does he know, it is relic singular. Hera's expanding to the south as the Viper's cavalry try to get in there and kill those villagers. At the same time, the Viper is expanding into the north of Hera's base, as we saw. And look at this, Hera trapped these light cavalry units. And now his town center is going to have a field day gunning them down. I mean, absolutely epic, amazing, synchronized attack moves out of both of these freaking players. This is what I wanted. This is what we all want when we watch the 2 best players in the world in the history of this game take each other on and absolutely beat the snot out of each other. Let's take a clockwise look at what's going on around the map. We've got a villager spotting this one relic. Oh, okay, so the Treb did ultimately, you see him pointing, the Treb did ultimately get the blacksmith. Hera in firm control of the Viper's base, mining his gold. Looks like Hera's villagers and village. This might be 2 villagers. Nah, this doesn't look like a villager. A villager and possibly 2 knights, or maybe 2 or 3 knights got there. The Viper sees the villagers mining, can't really engage underneath the castle. Hera expanding with 2 town centers to the 7 o'clock position as the Viper expands into the 10 o'clock position. And all of a sudden, Canberra really is the land down under. Things are completely upside down here. Toilet water flushing the opposite way, as everyone knows who has watched The Simpsons, and anyone knows who grew up watching The Simpsons. Another town center being built up here. I don't know what to make of this game. I don't know who to favor at this point. They both have very shitty villager counts. They both have very shitty army supplies. One has very cheap trash units. Looking at you, Mr. Blue Byzantine. One has potentially Schlachter, although I don't see any knights being trained. I'm looking at you, Mr. Pole. I don't think Schlachter is very expensive either. I mean, it's a very food intensive, but only 300 gold. I mean, I say 300 gold. The Viper's only got 200. 3 Trebs versus 3 Trebs. Hera focusing on the castle, does lose his third as a 4th Byzantine pole trap pops out. He's going to lose his... I mean, this is just absolutely hilarious. This is why Warwolf is such a such a valuable upgrade to get. But ultimately, the villager might be repairing. It doesn't really matter if any one of these balls lands. It is bad news bears here for our Byzantine, who no longer has any heavy siege weapons whatsoever. Back in the Viper's base, he continues his plan of taking over the settlement. Viper doing the exact same thing, plopping down a full work. Doesn't care that Hera sees all of it. Doesn't give a rat's ass. He is after the W. He needs to clean out the series. He does not want to go to game 5. Whereas Hera is fighting tooth and nail to go to game 5 with yet another town center. 40 villagers. Our Byzantine is now ahead, 10% bigger economy. And let's not discount this water domination, and more fishing ships are starting to be produced or trained by him. The Viper is kind of taking the edge of the map, which is very fun to see. He's kind of hugging the boards, as we like to say in Canada for people who skate. I actually don't know if that's an expression. It's just something I say. Hugging the boards is somebody like me who does not know how to skate very well and does not want to go outside the safety of having his hands his hands on the boards encircling the ice rinks in case he falls and breaks something. Light Cav taking on an outpost. Very, very dangerous role for that light cavalry unit. The better army here, if he can close, goes to Hera. Not in the long run, because cataphracts are missing Blast Furnace, which means they cap out at a +2 attack. Oh my god, when's the last time we saw Trebs gunning down a monk? I guess the range was so short he simply had to. Ooh, Hera planning a monk trap here with a bait. Does get this monk. So the better army here on an open field of battle goes, I think, to our Byzantine for now. Our Pole is stuck on 4 knights. He's got 700 gold. Look at this. Human centipede of events here. A cataphract engaging a light cav from behind as the light cav engages the outpost from behind. But this is not an open field battle. The Viper brilliantly hugging Bush B. Hugging him for dear life, trying to stop. Is this Bush A? Ladies and gentlemen, we've discovered Bush A. I knew when I double-clicked Bush B, and this one didn't highlight that there was something fishy here. So he is hugging Bushes A and B. Why are you running away? Your light cavalry could have definitely sniped those monks. As long as he stays close to the castle, as long as he hugs these bushes, there is not much that our Byzantine can do. He does not have the wood needed to go for another Treb. He is busy plopping downtown centers, going up 8 villagers ahead of his opponent. Hera's doubled his villager count to 61, and now he decides to close. What's their armor like? Okay, 3 pierce armor is not great. They're going to take a bunch of damage. The 2 monks do end up dying. Hera left them exposed. It means the light cav had their way with them. And all 4 Trebs survive. Wow, the cataphract, powerful as it is. Attack speed good as it is at 1.8 second delay, just not the heavy hitting unit that is needed to snipe these Trebs. Not with a 10 attack, not when they're unpacked with 2 armor. 8 damage to a unit with 150 HP under a castle with a threat of monks. These 2 knights look like they're kind of playing footsies with each other. You hang up first. No, you hang up first. No, you hang up first. No, you hang up first. Oh man, sorry guys. Long day for the 9th time. Blacksmith / full work going up yet again for the Viper, who is down 12 villagers now, but the army count has been kind of evened up. He does have 2 more converted cataphracts. The Viper is spending literally no resources on military right now. Absolutely none. How does he expect to hold on here? This castle and the town centers and a prayer. And maybe perhaps the belief that this cataphract is, on the whole, pretty damn weak with the 9 attack. I mean, look at this light cavalry attacking on an 8. Only 2 weaker than the cataphract. Ooh, but the light cav closed. The light cav closed. But this is not a monk. You don't have an attack bonus against here. Oh, watch them run circles around these cataphracts. I mean, look at, you can't defend against light cavalry units. They are just way too quick. The Viper pushes out. Still within the ambit of his castle. Schlachter being researched. He does have 2 stables. Imagine the Poles came with a unique tech like husbandry for the Franks, and it made their stables work, what is it, 40% faster for the Frank? Or, sorry, not husbandry. Oh my god. Chivalry. You know, I make mistakes, but at least I correct myself when my brain actually catches up to my mouth. And now our Byzantine might be in a spot of trouble. Not in the immediate future, but he has a window. He doesn't know it. He's supply blocked, population capped, or what the hell, whatever the population blocked. At 100 is our Byzantine, and is he noticing? Yeah, I see a few houses. A little bit too little, too late here. Oh, this is a long time to be blocked here and giving your opponent the momentum. Hera doesn't know it, but he is on a clock. Look at the Viper with his 30 gold knights, just training more and more. And the more of them appear on the field of battle, the more our Byzantine will know that he is on a very, very, very narrowing clock. And all of a sudden, the dock is down. These fishermen have nowhere to drop off to sell their wares. And Hera, he has the wood. He, I guess, can build another dock. Nobody, I am surprised no one's taken this relic. Hera went after it so gung-ho. And yet again, we find ourselves with a Treb on Treb violence. This time we've got 5 Byzantine Trebs. Ooh, unpacking at a good time. Oh my god, the monk. Literally at the wrong place at the wrong time. Gets balled to death. Full worker blacksmith. Full worker blacksmith. Yeah, you know it's a full work. What a crazy game, number 4. I mean, this whole set of best of 5 has just been absolutely crazy. Now it's the Viper who's housed at the exact same supply his opponent was housed in minutes ago. Hera, 20 supply ahead of his opponent, is also housed. Ladies and gentlemen, they are fighting so tooth and nail. You have the 2 best players in the world, both housed at the exact same time. All of that is to say, when you play this game, if you play this game, don't feel too bad about being housed. Put it like that. Don't feel too bad that you had a bit of idle time and couldn't train units or villagers or whatever the hell you were going to do with your population. And look at the Viper pulling Hera to the north while he closes in on the Trebs. Oh, we've got a bunch more exposed here for. Is he going to go after them? Hera peels off a few of the cataphracts. Their upgrades are a little bit better. Their Polish Knights are going to be Cavaliers. They close in on the Trebs. I'm focusing on the Trebs because Hera needs these frickin' Trebs. He's got to retreat. Otherwise, his castle is going to go down. Okay, he is doing a good job saving them. 3 of them do survive, but their HP is going down, down, down the shitter. 2 survive. And he saves 2 of his Trebs. But these are now Cavaliers, and their attack stats are going to be light years ahead of these Cataphracts, who are nowhere close to being elite, by the way. Even with the cheaper Imperial up cost. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hera has lost all of his damage dealers. He's stuck with Cataphracts. What's his wood like? He doesn't, forget the wood. He doesn't have the gold. Hera's got 1 relic. He is healing up his Byzantine units with those monks that heal twice as freaking fast. And now the Viper is pushing out. He is going up to 19 Cavaliers. And when I said Hera was on a clock, the clock has struck, maybe not midnight, but it's definitely struck 11:55. And so I think Hera has an opportunity here if he pivots into the right army composition. Okay, a ballsy move here. Instead of defending, he is instead going aggro, sending no fewer than 17 villagers forward. I mean, let's compare the stats on a Cataphract and a Cavalier. Yeah, look at the more HP, better attack, less melee armor, and attack speed, I think, a little bit slower. No, same attack speed. This castle, Hera must have thought he had all of the Trebs. This was a roll of the dice that your opponent does not have the resources needed to go up to Trebs, but your opponent most certainly does. He's getting even the gold that's left over in the Viper's former base. Hera's army supply is 9. He's ahead 20 villagers, but those villagers are not going to do much against the frickin' Cavalier. It looks like he tried to get a bit more deer meat than the Viper. But wow, what a crazy turn of events. Hera pushing into the Viper, dislodging him from his ancestral Polish settlement. And then the Viper dislodging Hera from his ancestral Byzantine settlement. Getting Schlachter at what, the 50-minute mark of the game or something like that? Yeah, but Hera needs Trebs. Oh, he's also being gutted here to the back. Oh, okay. And the Viper takes the series, the set. 3, 2, 1. Wow. That was about as epic a conclusion as could have been. I have never, in my long 1 year of having this YouTube channel, seen a base trade this counter. What's the word I'm looking for? This perfectly mirrored. Because again, we've seen attempts at base trades. We've seen the players kind of penetrate, kind of insert themselves, and then, you know, your opponent just kind of moves to the back. You push into the top. They just keep moving to the bottom, to the bottom, to the bottom. It's not really a base trade, but here we have an actual full-on freaking base trade. How epic was this for a last game in the series? And it is with the base trade and ultimately with the Schlachter Cavaliers, the Treb sniping killers who leave Hera absolutely defenseless. And this is not, oh no, it is an elite cataphract now. Why did he not mix in some camels? I'm not too sure. He doubled down on the cataphract, got it up to elite, maxed it out. Okay, look, at the end of the day, Hera's cataphracts are fully upgraded, so now would be a better time to compare it to the Cavalier. So same base attack. Our pole still missing iron casting, so actually a little bit weaker. Armor, better. HP, better. Movement speed, the same. And attack speed, better. 1.7 second delay to 1.8. And that does matter. That 0.1 does matter when you've got masses of units attacking each other for seconds and seconds at a time. It all adds up incrementally. But now he has the better unit. Did he really need to resign? Let's see what's going on around the map and figure out why he did. Okay, so no more resource gathering here for you. A bit more gold, actually. I suspect it's this realization that your opponent now has Schlachter and your opponent just has way too many full works. I mean, remember, Hera sees all of this. Is Hera's vision. He sees everything. He sees all the full works. He sees the stable. He sees the town center. He sees his former home being taken over by Polish farms. And he knows that he is going to lose this castle to the Trebs. And once this castle falls, then this center is going to be exposed. And there's not much that he can do to keep this dock up. And even though he did get the perch patch at the end of the day, what did it go down to? Look at that. An hour game, and it only decreased about 4,000. That shows you how bitterly it was contested, at least initially. And then later on, not so much, as Hera took firm control of the perch patch. But he decides that it is not... excuse me. Man, oh man, casting for an hour and a half really takes it out on your voice. I guess he decided that in the next little while, he just cannot hold. And the clock finally struck midnight. The poll with Schlachter and with, I mean, let's see how many villagers. Only 32 villagers on food is not great. Because remember, Schlachter privileges reduces the cost of gold on these Cavaliers, not the cost of food. So they still cost 60 food apiece. But the 75 gold becomes 30 gold. Wow. I guess Hera just saw a few steps ahead and realized there's no way he can compete with the ever-growing number of Cavaliers that are being pumped out. 60 cataphracts, 73 Cavaliers, PKPM for both below the first game, but still pretty damn high, 28, 31 minute mark of the game. So roughly at the same time, economies gutted, bruised, battered, small, whatever adjective you want to use to discover the describe the tiny economies that we saw throughout this game. They are not that far apiece, about 10% difference. The Viper only getting more wood. Interesting. Everything else going to our Byzantine. Ultimately, let's look at kill count. Very similar. 73 villager kills for our poll. This is also probably why. I mean, Hera still ended the game with 15 more villagers than his opponent. But at the end of the day, an absolutely epic game number 4 and an epic final game. I highly recommend you click the links below in the description to check out the rest of Nili's Apartment Cup number 5, or NAC5, as all of us cool Age of Empires kids, you know we love our acronyms, you know we love to shorten things, and it's hilarious. My father-in-law is starting to say the word civs now instead of civilizations because he watches my videos. And we love our lingo, don't we, us age heads. And if you want to watch more of the fun games, the tournament is ongoing, and these guys are still in it. Like I said, this is a Swiss round. Edelweiss, you let us know what that means, but this is not an elimination round. So both of these players, I believe, have made it into the finals. I believe both of them have won 4 matches and lost 1, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's the case. 4-1 means that they have secured their spots in the playoffs, and lots of fun games moving forward as the prize pool gets closer. And by the way, it is a prize pool with a capital PP. That sounds very dirty. It's not a capital PP. It's a capital prize and a capital pool. It is a huge prize pool. And so the players are definitely going to be duking it out seriously for our entertainment and for the glory of, I guess, crashing on Nili's couch for a week after the NAC is over. I'm assuming that's part of it. I have no way to actually back that up. Just pulled that random factoid out of my butt. And the Viper takes the series 3-1. And like I said, if you are interested in watching more, the links to Nili's YouTube and his Twitch are in the description below. Definitely check it out. Lots and lots of fun games. And yeah, until we meet again, everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for hitting that like button. If you haven't yet, definitely make sure you subscribe. And till we meet again, good luck and have fun. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.